All right, we found the inverse function yesterday. So our original function was square root x minus 2. Our inverse function was x squared plus 2, right? Okay, so we'll come back to this part. All right, you guys don't know, or I don't think you've graphed many square root functions. Okay, here they're telling you when y is greater than or equal to 0. They're giving you the domain, and we'll cover domain. But when you guys are trying to find a square root function, right, so this is x, this is y. Okay, if say I tell you guys when you guys are first starting out, I'll tell you, look, if you guys don't quite get it down, pick negative 10, 10 or negative 20, 20. You're going to get an error. Error is good. Rejection is good. I know we don't like to get rejected, but rejection is good because it tells you, okay, that one's out. And so this one I didn't get rejected. Okay, so then I'm over here. And then you guys can kind of figure it out that way. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Take the negative 10, substitute it. Take this 10, substitute it. One of them is going to be yes, and one of them is going to be a rejection. So if I type it, negative 10 minus 2, I get an error. I get rejected here. And that is because, you guys should know this, negative 10 minus 2 is a negative radicand. I get a negative number inside the radical. And you guys should know this from middle school and from, I think we did a little bit of it last year. Yeah. Oh yeah, you did i's. Duh, you did i's. Imaginary numbers. Okay, so notice I get an error, right? I get an error because you guys were taught that this is then I square root of 12. You guys remember your little imaginary? Okay, we're not doing imaginary in here. We're not graphing imaginary. You'll do that in pre-cal. So obviously that's why the calculator is rejecting us. So now you know, okay, so somewhere in here, I should stop getting rejected. Okay, I know which number it is. What number is it going to be? What's my non-rejected number? Look at the function. Opposite h follow k. What would my h be? You're going to eventually, by the way, you guys get, for all your functions, this is why another reason why I give you these. Because I give you what you know so that you kind of, when you look at it, you're not really looking at like, okay, she writes this way, she has all this stuff, but it also activates your prior knowledge. So, you know, so that's why we did standard form and vertex form of a parabola, so you guys cue in on it. Okay, so if you guys go opposite h follow k, what's my h here? Someone has to have a guess. Kelly, opposite h.
-2.
Opposite h.
2.
Perfect. 2, right? That's going to be my winner. Anything before that is rejection, right? Because why? I'm going to end up with a negative inside the radical. You cannot have a negative number inside the radical because those are imaginary numbers. Yeah? So when you guys get your calculator, so I'll put in a -5. I'll plug in a 0. I'll plug in a -1. I'll plug in a 0, that's a positive, and then I'll plug in 1, and you guys will see I'm going to get rejected. So if I plug in a -5 minus 2, that's -7, rejection. I plug in a -1, that's -3, that's rejection. We are not dealing with imaginary numbers. If I plug in a 0, that's -2, rejection. If I plug in a 1, that's -1, rejection. We are not dealing with imaginary numbers. So why am I getting rejected? Because we do not want imaginary. We want integers, decimals, real numbers. So if I was to type in 1.9999999, it doesn't matter. I get rejected. But if I plug in a 2, because opposite h, follow k. What is 2 minus 2? It's the square root of 0. And what's the square root of 0? 0. And so now I got an answer. So if you guys are lost on your XY table and you're like, I have no idea, I don't know where, then keep throwing in numbers and your rejections are your clue. That's your clue. You're good, you're bad, just in case you forget the rules, okay? So, oh, I can't go to Desmos because I'm recording. Okay, we'll go back. So if you guys remember, that was the first point, that 2, 0, and then it like took off and curved. So then remember, it's a square root function, it takes off. So you can plug in a 3, right? So if I plug in 3, I'm going to get 1. What's the square root of 1? 1, right? So if I kind of do my ugly graph here, because we already looked at it at Desmos. So I have 2, 3, 1 is here. So let's plug in a 5. 5 minus 2 is rad 3. What is rad 3? 1.7. So if I plug in 3, 4, 5, that's 1, 2, 3 here. And then if you wanted to plug in, what do I get, 1.7? If I plugged in a 10, we'll do 10. What's 10 minus 2? 8? What's the square root of 8 as a decimal? 10. Well, square root of 9 is 3, right? So it has to be 2 point something. What is it? I know you guys have your phones because they're not in the caddy. What is it? 2.4. Thank you. CC. Okay. Yeah? You guys see? Oh, 2.8. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah, right? Minus 2. Hold on. I don't want to give you wrong answers. 2.8. Okay, 2.8. So say here, whatever. Okay, there's my square root function, which is what we saw on Desmos right now when I showed you before we started. And all of these are errors because you cannot have imaginary number. We're not interested in imaginary. So if you guys come back to your graph, then you would graph that nicely here. 3 was 1. This was like here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2.8. Okay, it's something like this. Okay, so this is what my square root function would be, right? Okay, and then this is my diagonal line, right? Okay, this is my square root function. Okay, so then what is my inverse function? You guys know it's a parabola x squared plus 2. You're more than welcome if you're like, yeah, I guess I could switch the points here, like 1, 3, 0, 2. But you can also just, if you wanted to go, oh, I know my vertex is 0, 2, because opposite h follow k, so you know it's 0, 2. Or you could just grab the points and switch them, right? This was 2, 0, so 0, 2. This was 3, 1, so, yeah, 3, 1, so 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, right? This was 10, 2.8, so then you know 2.8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's kind of looking like that, right? So if I just kind of move it to the side. Right, so you just switch your points. If it's 2, 0, 0, 2, 1, 3, 1.75, 2.8, 10. I don't know what you guys want. Here, I need to put something under here. And this is my inverse function. So pretty. You guys get the whole negative though? The imaginary? Okay, yeah. So if you're getting rejected on the calculator, that it's a good thing. It's telling you you're not in the domain. That's what it's telling you. You're on a restricted domain. Get out of it. Find where you belong. Yeah. Oh, here, you know? Here. Okay. I have. Here, I'm sorry for you guys. I just remembered. I was supposed to shoot earlier. Oh, she's not here today?